Hi, my name is Vonda Page, and I'm the Radical Results Mentor for leaders looking to level up and managers making moves.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
I am the CEO of Radical Change LLC, and LLC happens to stand for Leaders Learn Change, which is my signature blueprint. And so, what I do is work with leaders through mentorships, masterminds, memberships, and masterclasses to really help them move from leadership to legendary status. So I'm a mentor, a coach, and an advisor.
That's absolutely fantastic. We're going to unpack it one by one here. Uh, no, it's really a lot there that you are doing to help people to level up. Now, let's start with your mentorship. Can you give us a little background of what you do there?
Absolutely. So, first, one thing I want to say is that I think over the last, I'd probably say 15 years or so, I've learned the importance of mentorship even in a greater way. And so, what I realized is that throughout my career, I've always mentored interns and, less senior people, as well as, of course, mentoring people who report to me directly. But I also, throughout my career, mentored leaders in all levels of the organization, from supervisors and managers all the way up through CEOs and CIOs. And so, in mentorship, and especially in the context in which I do it now, I have the opportunity to work with people one on one and in what's known as group coaching. And so, what that looks like is, for example, I have several clients who are at that, I'd call it that third way through their career, right? So they're not halfway through their career, they're about a third of the way. And they're looking at some pivotal questions. They're looking at, where do I want to go, whether it's in terms of my career trajectory, or whether it's in terms of me really leveling up as a person, leveling up as a leader. And in that context, we're talking about advancing the types of strategies, skills that you need, right, in order to do that, but really applying new strategies and new skills in new ways that are really going to meet the moment and meet the current issues that leaders face right now.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. So when an individual come to you for mentorship, where do you usually start from the person to be able to diagnose what the problem is and where you need to intervene?
Oh, I love that question because, one of the things that it's kind of funny, I have a business partner that I'm working with named Tammy Triolo, and her background is in people operations, and whereas my background is in technical and leadership advice. And so the way that people come to kind of discover, okay, what I'm looking for is really through a couple of simple assessment type questions. The first question is really like, are you struggling in any area to get a certain goal? So it could be, I have been, let's say I have one of my clients, for example, who is a technologist, right? She is a highly skilled security engineer. And she wants to do more and show them not only how to use technical skills, but to also give them motivation and inspiration. How long have you wanted to achieve a specific goal? The second is, what things have you done, types of interventions, right? Have you done to achieve those goals? And the third is, are you ready to do something different? Are you ready to make a commitment that is going to not be a one or two time thing. That's going to be an ongoing relationship, an ongoing opportunity for you to utilize tools, time, and techniques.
We believe that everyone has a story to share. We believe in the power of storytelling in today's digital economy. Yes, we believe that our audience need to be touched at the level of emotion so we can better engage. What about you? Do you believe in storytelling as much as we do? Do you want to reach the hearts and minds of your audience? Then join us in our online training class, Storytelling for Content Creators and Digital Entrepreneurs. Come to obehi-a1food.com/storytelling and learn how to leverage your storytelling skills so you can earn more as a content creator and digital entrepreneur. Storytelling is a powerful instrument at our disposal. Let's explore it together. See you in the class.
To really get those goals. And so that's where we start. You have to learn new ways, right, of adopting things if you want to accomplish things that you've been unable to do thus far.
Now, who are the people that are supposed to connect with you in this mentorship?
Yes. So that's a good question too, because people are connecting in a couple of different ways. The first way I'd like to think about who should connect is if you are ready to really hone habits to harness the certainties of change, because we need to understand and recognize that change is this inevitable energy, right? That's always happening. And so once we understand that and we start to build habits and behaviors and we start to transform our thinking and our mindset, right? Which then shapes attitudes, which then, right, goes into how we interact with people every day. So what I like to say is if you are a manager of a team, of a work group, of an organization. If you are, let's say, the coach of a team or a group, if you are the owner or an executive of an organization, or even somewhere in between, right? So what happens normally is people will connect with me on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn, .com/, and my username is Vonda Page. So very simply. The other thing people also do is they go to my website, which is vondapage.com. And from there, they can either click the button to apply for a free change leadership consultation, or they can go to some other sections to see things like what I talk about. They could check out my credentials. But people usually connect through LinkedIn because I'm really, creating, I'd say, a niche in terms of helping people understand leadership in the context of motivation and motivation mattering. Leadership is about stepping boldly into your vocation, but from a way that really aligns with who you are authentically. Who do you want to be? And so when I think about those people, how they come to me and what their different scenarios are, it's really, they're in a position and they know that they want to step up. They're in a position and they know that they want to level up and get some different skills. And I think because I'm, really been helping people try to unpack anti-Blackness and talking about it in a way that's, much beyond the same old DEI, because I believe that we need to dump DEI altogether. In fact, I wrote a book about it because DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, it doesn't work. And so even in terms of the mentorship, right, and the people who are part of the mentorship, we talk about things and we learn from that foundation of unpacking anti-Blackness, because unless people grew up, extremely pro-Black, right, like you and I talked about 2 weeks ago, ago, right, when we had that amazing conversation, people points and stereotypes and experiences in terms of what they think about Blackness and Black people. And that is at the crux of why we have all of this disparity. It's the crux of why, no one cares about what's happening in Tigray. It's the crux of why people don't, when Ukraine war broke out, nobody cared about the African students that were, being treated like garbage because of anti-Blackness. And so, right, I think the way people are hearing about me, about my mentorship, about the work I'm doing, part of it is through that conversation. But then I think the other part is through people are really looking to move from leadership to legendary. People are looking to do something different and make a move and make a mark in the world. Don't you think?
All right. Now, somebody were to ask, what is the key value proposition of your business? Of course, really dealing with mentorship, the thing that you do as business. What would you say?
Wow. Well, first and foremost, I would say that the key proposition when it comes to mentorship, when it comes to coaching, when it comes to business advice, especially in this framework, is that there is a 7 times return on investment when it comes to leadership coaching, professional coaching. And so that's kind of the first piece. But the other piece is, one of the unique things that I do, and I'm super excited about the opportunity to do it, is through my Radical Change app, which I'm actually officially launching in 2 weeks. I'm able to work with my clients not only in those group settings, not only in those larger learning experiences, but also one-on-one and privately through an app which they can use from any device. And so think about, right, a leader or someone, any person, right, professional, in this very global, very nomadic business climate, right, where people are traveling internationally, nationally, locally, having the opportunity to use your cell phone, your laptop, or your desktop, or your tablet to connect with your coach and say, hey, I have a couple of quick questions around this area as I'm about to embark on this new effort or this new initiative. Can you give me some feedback? Can you jump in and give me some constructive advice around my messaging that I want to give to my team? I ran into this issue and I'd like to talk it out with you. And so, because of the Radical Change app, which will be available in the Apple Store as well as on Google Play, they'll be able to actually interact with me. So yes, and so when I think about the value proposition of being able to have that one-on-one relationship, that one-on-one connection, that one-on-one opportunity to connect through the app for a quick issue, for a question, or even for a deep dive discussion. And so when I think about the overall value proposition, not only the 7 times return on the investment, but being able to establish and have a long-term mentorship relationship and have that convenience of that any device access is just what's going to be very, very helpful. And the clients that I have are super excited about it.
Thank you so much for that, Vonda. That is really very interesting. It's really interesting and also helpful in the community. Now, you also have a mastermind. Do you want to tell me more about the mastermind and what you do there?
Absolutely. I'm so excited about the mastermind. And so the mastermind is actually called Destination Dump DEI Live. So DEI, as you may be familiar, stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so being a person who has actually been in the diversity, equity, inclusion field for 26 years or so, and being in that corporate space, specifically in technology leadership, what has given me the opportunity to do is really understand at a very deep level how to get down to the bare bones and the foundations of what helps people really learn and uncover things. And so the mastermind is a 3-day in-person experience where we specifically go through a building up of your skills so that at the end of this mastermind you understand how to begin how to to develop a anti-blackness alleviation plan, right? Which is really about how do you look at your own beliefs, your own character, and who you think you want to be, and what that looks like in contrast to your behaviors and how you're showing up. And so within that mastermind, first thing we do is kind of look at, where are we right now and where do we think things have gone wrong. That second day, we really get into, we have analyzed, right, what we need and we know where we want to go. What does that really look like in its ideal sense? What are the tools and the techniques we need to get there? And then on that third day, listen, we are really digging in and giving people that opportunity to have conversation and to try out the things that they've learned on the second day. So when you think about diversity, equity, inclusion as a field, as an industry, and you think about those people who have worked there, right? You have practitioners, professionals, and you have decision makers. Well, all of those people, they really know that DEI isn't working. They know that the fact that Black women are making 58 cents on the dollar, and that has gone down 5 cents over the last year. They know that those statistics, right, are a direct correlation to what leadership looks like, and it's a direct correlation to who you want to be, your character, and what you're trying to contribute to the greater good.
Oh, right. Now, I don't know if you want to talk more about what the people can get out of this mastermind, those who get involved. Can you tell me something more about that?
Absolutely. So when I think about the outcomes, right, or at the end of the mastermind, what does it look like for people? So the first and foremost thing is I want to say that I want people to think about the experience, not just as at the end of it is the end of an experience, but it's the actual beginning. Because the goal of the mastermind is that people walk away with an actual plan, a practical, applicable plan that they can utilize on themselves in whatever it is that they're trying to achieve from that standpoint of, hey, figuring out where do I want to go next. So the Destination Dump DEI Live Mastermind, people are going to leave with a roadmap for how they want to approach diversity, equity, and inclusion going forward. Do they understand and want to focus on unpacking, unlearning anti-blackness so that they can then focus on alleviating it? Do they need to focus on building up a new strategy, right, within their organization or team on what to do? Or, hey, do they really need to do some internal work, right, on themselves from a growth perspective? And so at the end of the mastermind, they also get the opportunity to say, okay, here's how I want to move forward. I want to move forward working, with you in a capacity where I'm in a group mentorship program. I want to work with you in a capacity where once a month we are deep diving into either, unpacking anti-blackness or uncovering and unpacking, who we are as a leader, that type of work. And so that is, the way to think about it is it's never the end. It's really the beginning. And it's a mastermind because you get that opportunity to be in community with people who have the same learning goal, right? The same outcome goal, which is at the end of this experience, I want to have a plan. I'm going to have a practical, applicable plan that I co-created, right? With some advice and guidance that I know is going to help me grow and thrive, whether in my career, whether in my business, or whether in another endeavor where I know I really am ready to transform from leadership to legendary.
Leadership to legendary. Thank you so much for that.
You
What they are
got it.
doing is a powerful work. It's a powerful work. All right. So when you say they, the people that are actually participating in this mastermind, can you tell me more about that? Who are you referring to?
Yes. So I'm really referring to people who have a couple of different roles. So, for example, the person may be a leader within an organization. So, could it be a director, a manager, a CEO, or something like that? They know that diversity, equity, and inclusion, the way that they are leading their organization is really pivotal in terms of their personal growth, but the success that they're trying to achieve, right? That's number one. So that's one kind of set of person. The other person are people who may work in that field of diversity, equity, inclusion. They may consider themselves a practitioner. They may consider themselves a professional. They may consider themselves an analyst, an advocate, an advisor. The person who has a deep interest in going beyond what has happened, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. The EEOC was established back in 1963. And at that time, there was a law in America that said uh, women and must make the same amount of money as the same job if they're doing the same job as a man. Well, that law has been in place for 59 years. And it's still not true. Women still do not make the same as men, and Black women make the least, right? And so when it comes to really thinking about who needs to be there and who's going to benefit, it's the person who has decision making powers and authority in an organization. It's the person who cares about equity. It's the person who knows if you've been doing something wrong for 59 years as a profession and then for centuries long as a practice, right? It's time to step up and do something different. And participating in a mastermind such as Destination Dump DEI Live gives people the opportunity to really put, their feet where their mouth is, right? To actually put the action behind words and get in a group of people who are having the discussion, frankly, that's been needed for decades, right? And when you're talking about trying to do something serious, trying to do something significant, something that is going to make a difference in the world and in the lives of many, many, many people, right? To me, that's the moment. And it's time to meet that moment. And as I said, right, I focus on people who want to move from leadership to legendary. And let's face it, that's not for everybody, right?
That's true. That's true. Why are people not really wanting to be in that position? Why?
I think it's fear. Number one, I think it's fear of stepping into, a position where you could get criticized, where you could get, people say mean things or things that people don't agree with you. And I think that tells you why mentorship is so important. That tells you why having somebody that can guide and advise you along the way, using tools, using techniques, but most importantly, it's using time, right? So a mentorship, especially the way I call them rolling results mentorships, right? So people could actually also go to rollingresultsmentorship.com to get some ideas, but I'm going to be working on that site over the next week to do some revamp to it. But the idea is that you are continually learning. You're continually growing. You're continually unpacking and taking in new information and getting feedback on a continual basis for up to a year, and in some cases longer. So my first cohort that started in September, they're going to be their mentorship goes through December of 2023. So they're going to have 15 months, right? So when people onboard, right, this first cohort, people can come in at any point in time because it's ongoing. And so people have the opportunity, right, to work from the standpoint of where they are.
To be a great content creator in today's fast changing economy, you need one thing: storytelling. Storytelling is a powerful instrument to leverage either for personal use or for your business success. This is why this training class, Storytelling for Content Creators and Digital Entrepreneurs, was created. It is designed to help you leverage the power of storytelling so you can stand out from the crowd and earn more in your business. Come to obehi-storytelling and learn how to leverage your storytelling skill to earn more as a content creator and digital entrepreneur. You need the power of storytelling to stand out in the competition. So let's explore it together. See you in the class.
And so I meet people, where they are. There's no catching up. There's no, oh, you're behind. There's no, oh, you need to do this. It's just, hey, welcome into this community where we're going to really help you move out of that space where you're comfortable. Because when you say, why don't people want to move from leadership to legendary? There's so many reasons. And if we just talk about women as an example, right? Our society, our global society, right, treats women as second-class citizens. And we cannot deny that that is how women are treated. And so what that does is that conditioning, that programming, right? It really, regardless of opportunity, the programming is still there. And that programming can't get undone in one conversation or a 2-hour meeting or a 3-hour training or even a 3-day mastermind. But what can happen month after month after month, right? With that repeated support and that sustainable strategic application of new skills, right? Bit by bit. And then you get to try those skills out. You get to test those skills. You're a leader and you're like, you know what? I need to have a tough meeting with my team because we have to look at some economic measures that might not be good. So you have the opportunity to role play, right? And we could talk through, okay, well, give me some background on your team. What type of, what's the mix, right? Are they younger folks? Are they older folks? Is it 20 people? Is it 100 people? Are they global? Are they only in the United States? Are they only in Italy? Right? And so helping you move takes time. And a lot of times people want the quick fix, right? Now, this is a shortcut because obviously people who are looking for leadership coaching and leadership advice and looking to accomplish goals that have been, difficult to get, or they haven't been able to get the success that they've wanted, they're looking and they are going to be the people who find me, right? So whether they find me from VondaPage.com or whether they find me from LinkedIn or whether they are looking for, a mentor in the formal sense of the word, it's really about being ready to meet a moment. And everybody, depending on what they have going on, in their life at that time, might not have that mindset at that time to say, yes, I'm.
So I wanted to say a few things about the membership because you also have membership. So in terms of what are people supposed to gain by being part of the membership? Tell me something more about that.
Yeah, so I actually have I'm building 2 membership communities. One community is really focused on people, and it's called From Leaders to Legend. We're building this community on LinkedIn, but we're going to be moving that community onto my app. But the idea of that first community and being a member of that community is, number one, you get the opportunity to have access to exclusive content and to be participants in lives that are only going to be for the community. So because we are going to be really, digging into topics that individual people have around leadership, I want to make sure that those people who are really serious about moving from leader to legend have an opportunity to work with like-minded folks. So to be in community. So it's a free membership in the LinkedIn community. It's called Leaders to Legend. And so for people who are on LinkedIn, if you go to my profile, Vonda Page, it'll show you that I have a group, and that group is called Leaders to Legend. It is absolutely free to join. And like I said, the purpose is for you to have access to content that is not going to be publicly shared, because I'm really going to be giving people a lot of training, right, that leaders can use in their lives, in their careers, families, teams, nonprofits. And I only want to do that for people who are serious, who really want to connect with me, because we vibe, right? Because we vibe on the importance and the understanding that the type of leader that's necessary now, right, when it comes to meeting the moment, when it comes to grappling with these most complex and significant challenges, that people need to step up. So that's one membership. And my other membership is specifically for Black women and women who are really wanting to step into their own power, and do it from a healing, wholeness, and growth perspective. And so that group is called Future Vanguard. And that group is a group of mainly Black women and other women who understand that this is a Black womanist led leadership group. And what I'm doing is helping women, specifically Black women, really dig down and get to that core essence of how they want to be and show up in this world, because the world, as you know, beats up Black women. The world, as you know, does not protect nor respect Black women, right? The world, as you know, right, especially when it comes to Black women, sees us as vessels for exploitation and devaluation, and I'm not having it. And so part of the influence in me from a leadership perspective is really knowing that for me it's important to make the world better, and I'm going to do that first and foremost by making it better for women, and Black women in particular. And I'm not I'm unapologetic in that. I'm undaunted in that. And I am, determined to help a new generation of women step into their power and to do it their way, right? And to do it in a way that's going to have significant impact on the world.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you also for what you are doing. It is important. It's absolutely important. All right, now, how can people connect with you? I wanted to use this few moments to promote even what you are doing. Why not? Go ahead and do that.
Okay, so absolutely. So I am so excited, first and foremost, to invite people to Destination Dump DEI Live in Washington, D.C., November 15th, 16th, and 17th of this year. So myself, Vonda Page, the Radical Results Mentor, and my colleague, Tammy Triolo, the People Ops person, are doing a live 3-day mastermind. And that mastermind is Destination Dump DEI Live. And in that, it is going to be 3 days where people get the opportunity to, first and foremost, right, really uncover and decide for themselves where they want to go when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and what they want to do. So people should just go to dumpdei.com. So it's https :// dumpdei.com to learn more about that. And they can also go to vondapage.com. And the first thing they are going to see when they go to vondapage.com is they will see that my book, Dump DEI, is available for pre-sale. Now, let me tell you really quick. So Dump DEI, the book, is all about the reasons and the rationale that we know DEI isn't working. And it's about the reasons and the rationale we need to drop it as as a method in which we're trying to achieve equity, because that method isn't working. And what we have to do is we have to focus on alleviating anti-Blackness. And so in the book, I really talk about what has happened over the last 59 years since the Equal Pay Act, and how it has only served to push Black women down even further. And so that book is available for pre-sale for $58 in commemoration of the 58 cents that Black women make in comparison to a white man's dollar, and in comparison to an Asian woman's 95 cents. Black women only make 58 cents on the dollar. So Dump DEI, the book, is on sale for $58. And so people can go to vondapage.com/book to purchase the book. And I really want people to follow me on LinkedIn, because that really is where they're going to get the links and the latest things to connect with me live. But one of the amazing things about me being also part of the Living Corporate Network is Living Corporate, which is a media network specifically focused on the experience and amplification of Black and Brown professional voices. I have several pods and episodes and things out there on a show called The Group Chat. So the group chat, and it'll say Radical Change with Vonda Page. You can go to Apple, Spotify, Pandora, anywhere, and type in the group chat Vonda Page, and you'll find me, and they can listen to previous episodes. They can also catch up with me every week at 10 o'clock a.m. On LinkedIn Pacific time, and everything else is recorded. So there we are. So I want people to go to vondapage.com for really the most comprehensive, information, but definitely follow me on LinkedIn and TikTok.
Thank you so much for that. Now, what would be your final thought on the conversation that we have had today?
Wow. Well, I think the final thought is, you really, again, helped me to think about the fact that mentorship matters, because getting the opportunity to talk about the amazing experiences that I get to have with my clients who I help move from leadership to legendary is really a gift that not only I'm giving myself, but is also something that is going back into the world. Because as people have an opportunity to build their leadership skills, as people have an opportunity to grow and thrive with the right advice and guidance, I mean, it really makes a difference. And so I think about leadership and in a way that is so beneficial to our world and to all of us, that I'm just excited that I'm helping people move from leadership to legendary, because it is really time to meet the moment.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you. This was great. And I look forward to talking again.
If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewanfo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.